Hey all, this is going to be a quick video on showing you my attempt to build a gate using the Trex Enhance rail system. I just installed the Trex rail system on my pool. It looks pretty sharp. Good product, but unfortunately they don't have a matching gate that could be cut to fit. They do have some gates, but there are I think over 250 bucks, and I need two gates. So that's really not cost effective for me. So what I'm going to try to do is build two gates using one, basically one railings kit. So here's my idea to build it, and I'll film this along the way. So one of the challenges that I had was obviously these end pieces. They don't come with the kit, and I want it to match. So I did find a thing. I believe it's made by Barrett. It's called Create a Gate, and this is a universal kit, I believe, that I bought many years ago, probably over 7 years ago, that I had it in my shed. They do have these 68, they look like sleeves, 2x4 sleeves. They're hollowed, they're just PVC. So what I'm going to use those. I have two sticks of those. I'm going to cut them down for my gate, and I'm going to basically rip a 2x4 and put it in those sleeves. So that's going to be basically my support on the ends. To attach it, since this is going to be basically have wood inside, I'm going to use pressure treated wood in here. I'll also put a little piece of wood in here as well. I'll rip it to squeeze this in, and I am going to attach it using the Trex bracket system. So that'll give me some hold. Obviously it's not going to hold very long, but I will put a 4-inch deck screw all the way across to grab onto this wood in here. But also over time, you guys know that I don't, and the other thing too is I don't want a cross support system, basically a wire that goes across. I think that looks kind of tacky. So what I'm going to try to do is do more of a lateral support. What I kind of figured on how to do that is using these rail systems. Basically, if you want a cable rail system, they use this kit right here, these end pieces where you put the cable in here. You screw it into this bolt right here, and you tighten it and pull that your cable, and you taunt it out. What I'm going to do is use that process, but use a solid rod in the interim as my connector. So basically, I'll drill a hole all the way through through these pieces with the wood in it, and I'm going to thread it on either side. So basically, that'll give me the lateral support. So hopefully, it doesn't flex. So we'll see how this comes out. But again, the gates are actually the entrance to my pool. I'm able to use one, rail system for both gates. So we'll see how it comes out, but more information later. Thanks. All right, so here's an update what I did so far. So I cut the lateral supports on either side to make it match the railing height, which is 32.5 inches. So what I did on this one is I basically put a pressure treated wood in here, so I could actually attach the screws here. And again, I'm using the Trex railing system bracket over here. They'll go underneath the top rail, and on the bottom I want the basically the gate flush on the bottom. I didn't want to have an overhang to put a bracket there. I think it'll look kind of cheesy. So what I did was I bought some of these corner brackets. They're for, I think, for decks and stuff. So I just drilled a couple extra holes, and I painted it white, and I basically baked it as well. Hopefully that'll last a little bit longer. It is galvanized, so it shouldn't rust, but hopefully it doesn't. But then I'll put these in a corner with white screw heads, make it look a little bit more appealing. So, and again too, I put little blocks in here. So just a recap of what I'm going to be doing is bracket here. I'm also going to put 4-inch screws basically on either side of, drill it through the lateral bracket here, or board, to go into this little chunk of wood that's inside here. And then also I'm going to have the rail system that we kind of talked about. Let me get that piece. So this is the end piece. It's going to go all the way through. Oops, let me put my camera there. So it's going to go all the way through, and I'm going to have a rod that goes all the way across to the other side that has this thing too, and I'm going to tighten it up with a hex bit. So hopefully this will work. I'll give you updates later. Thanks. All right, so I actually ran the thread through the bottom rail. Here's the end receiver for that rail system that I'm going to use. I'm using my threaded rod. I ran it all the way across, went through the other hole. So this is actually a big 10-footer that I'm using for a couple lengths. So here's the other receiver for this end. The thread starts right here, right? So I'm going to give it a little bit more. Hopefully I could thread it. And then the hard part is fishing this through the holes. I didn't really drill it straight through. It was on a diagonal on this side. This side was pretty straight, so I ran my thread on that side. You're probably wondering, why do I have these holes upside down? Actually, I drilled the holes on, I don't know if you can see it. I drilled them here. These were for the step railing system. So they have these wide holes to account for the different angles for your steps. So this was an extra one that I got. So I don't like these extra holes because I think water is going to get in or whatnot. So I basically reversed them, matched the holes, and drilled 3/4 holes on the other side, so the banisters could go through. And actually, this actually works nice, and I could actually put some kind of pliers in here to tighten it while I hold the thread down while I tighten up the receiver. So that's a little tip there too. So anyway, more to come. All right, here's what I got. So on the bottom there, I ran the thread with the cable receiver. Went all the way through, no problem. Now I basically did assemble the top piece with the railing, not attached yet. I got to cut the fit. But again, I put the 4-inch deck screws there. With the Trex bracket underneath. And tell you the truth, there is that lateral support with the rod, but this thing is solid. It does not move. So I think you could probably get away with not even using the thread system that I did. But since this is my larger gate of the two, the other one's basically like 32 inches. This one's like 42. This one might have a little bit more play, but dude, this thing is solid. It doesn't really flex, but over time, we'll see. But I got a lot of stuff holding in, so we'll see how it goes. But hopefully this gives you some ideas on assembling your Trex gate. One thing too that I noted, or that I mentioned before, so there is a rod that's underneath there, right? I don't think you could see it, but the spindles doesn't go all the way through. So the standard spindles that you get, I think it's like 34 inches or 32. You probably need to cut it. So a little trick that I did is I put a little tape on here. So each of these holes that I went, I kind of marked which one is the highest point. Took a measurement of that. Did that for the top side as well. So this from the top of the board to the bottom of the board, it's 27 inches. So I just added these basically measurements to get you the total length of the spindles. So I'm using a pipe cutter to cut these, but that's one trick that I did. Hopefully this helps. But Overall, I'm very pleased with this gate that I built. Oh, and the other thing too is these. I got these. Basically, these are these KwikFit. I think they're made by D&D Global. These are like polymer material. It doesn't rust or corrode, but these things are nice. So they give you screws. Actually, no screws, but they have screw holes here on the side, so you can actually do on the top and on the sides from your post and to your gate. So that thing's not going to move as well. So anyway, hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, don't email me. Ha! All right, kidding. Bye. All right, this is the final product. So everything's ready, and this thing is solid. It's not moving anywhere. So I did put the rebar, or actually the threaded rod, in here. Use those cabling receivers for that cabling railing system. Just a quick note on this. This is pretty pricey. So those receivers and those end pieces where you attach the cable, which you don't need, 5 of those were $15. They're all stainless steel. It's not going to rust, so that's why I did it. But they're pretty expensive. So what I kind of came up with as an alternative is just get a screw. I don't know if you can see it. A screw. This one is I think it's 1/4 by 20 thread, and I got those couplers on the end. So technically, I could probably do my own receiver, but the one thing that I do kind of note, it's probably going to be harder to attach to connect that threaded rod inside. And trying to hooking on that, because this is not flared as these are. It has a pretty thin wall to attach those threaded rods. But you could try this. I'm going to try to do it on the other gate. The other gate's real small, 32 inches. Actually, I bought 5 of those. I was supposed to buy 8, but one way to save some money, so I'll do it this way. And plus, that small of a gate with these 4-inch screws, I don't think it's going anywhere. But overall, it's pretty good. It's very light. I probably want to say this entire thing is, I don't know, 20 pounds. So it's not too bad. With those hinges that I got, it actually goes onto the post and also to the side rails. So I think it's gonna go. It's not gonna move, but I'll put all the parts that I got on this thing. So feel free to use any of the tips, but overall it looks pretty good. Thanks, bye. So here's the gate. Everything works. Kind of happy with it. I think over time we'll see if it's gonna sag and hit the sides, but I don't think it's pretty solid. So hopefully all this information helps, gives you some tips on how to build your own custom gate without paying those high prices. So anyway, it looks nice, it matches, but I'm happy. All right, take care, bye.